Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Tonight, we're going to be talking about Sinister from 2012, one of those horror films that almost stuck the landing if it hadn't tripped over its own supernatural twist. So grab your projector reels and your sense of dread because this movie is about to make you paranoid about home movies. So Sinister follows true crime writer Ellison Oswalt, played by Ethan Hawke, who's basically doing every writer's worst nightmare, moving into a murder house on purpose to get inspiration for his next big hit. So he finds a box of old Super 8 movies in the attic, and they're all about as cheerful as a tax audit, each reel showing a different family being murdered in disturbingly creative ways. And instead of, calling the cops like a sane human being, Ellison decides to watch them all alone at night with no lights on while drinking whiskey and, taking some notes. Because that's what smart decisions look like in horror movies, right? As he digs deeper, he discovers these crimes are connected across decades and some creepy symbol keeps showing up, all tied to an ancient pagan deity named Bughuul, who apparently likes eating children's souls and starring in cursed snuff films. So the tension builds as Ellison starts hallucinating, hearing noises, and realizing his own family might be on the next film reel menu. The ending. Well, let's just say Bughuul gets his sequel contract signed. Now, Sinister deserves credit where it's due. The direction by Scott Derrickson is solid. The atmosphere, perfectly unsettling. The use of those grainy 8mm films is absolute nightmare fuel. They feel real, which makes them 10 times more disturbing. And Ethan Hawke, he sells the descent into obsession and paranoia like an absolute pro. You can practically smell the coffee and regret coming right off of him. Not to mention all that whiskey he's been drinking while watching those 8mm grainy snuff films. But here's where I think Sinister missed its golden opportunity. It could have worked way better as a psychological crime drama. The first half of the movie is brilliant because it plays like a true crime mystery. One man uncovering a chain of horrific murders, slowly piecing together a killer's pattern. It's got that Zodiac or Seven type energy, dark, methodical, and grounded. Then the movie says, hey, you know what this needs? A boogeyman from another dimension who moonlights as a children's soul collector. Now, don't get me wrong, Bughuul looks creepy enough to sell Funko Pops, but the supernatural twist undercuts the grounded tension that made the first half so gripping. Imagine if, instead of a demon, the murders were connected by a real person or cult. It could have been one of the best crime thrillers of the decade. Instead, the ending leans into some jump scares and CGI demon cameos, losing some of the gritty realism it built so well. It's like watching True Detective suddenly turn into Paranormal Activity about 3/4 of the way through. So here's the verdict. Sinister is still one of those more memorable horror films of the 2010 era. It's got some mood, mystery, and enough nightmare fuel to keep your attic locked forever. But if it had trusted its crime drama roots, focusing on obsession, guilt, and darkness of human curiosity, it could have been truly exceptional. Now, would I go out and would I buy this movie? Would I go out and spend the time to watch it? Yes, of course I would. Would I recommend it? Sure, especially if you don't know how the ending is going to turn out. But do I still think deep down in my soul that this would have done better as a crime drama? Absolutely. And maybe one day I can hope for a reboot where that'll happen. Maybe in the same dimension as Bughuul. Now, don't forget to like, subscribe, share your thoughts below in the comments. And until next time, everyone, have a great night.